Hello my friends, how you doing? Justin here. Today I'm going to have a quick look at some rock licks, particularly one lick that I learnt when I first started playing kind of heavy rock guitar. I could never figure out how people played fast, and then I can't remember if somebody showed me the trick or whether I found it on a record. To tell the truth, it was quite a long time ago. But I remember learning this lick and suddenly feeling that that was a way that I could get fast. So what I'm going to do is show you that lick. Actually, I'll just show it to you now quickly before we go to a close-up. I was kicking my distortion pedal in there. So the basic lick is just this, which it's pretty basic really. It's just part of the E minor pentatonic scale. We're playing up at the 12th fret. But once you start to speed it up a little bit, it gets fairly quick. It's really kind of quite a common rock metal lick. Once you've got it down, you can start to extend it and play about with it as well, and it becomes all these other licks along the lines of this kind of like that kind of thing. Also, the same lick you can use to descend the whole scale. So instead of it just being like a little lick up on those high strings, after you've finished whittling about up there a bit, you can start to move down the scale. So you'd end up with something using the same lick again. That kind of thing. So, let's get to a close-up, and I'll show you how to do these couple of little tricks. The basic gist of this lick is that we're going to pick this first note here with our first finger, then we're going to hammer the third finger down without picking the note again, so it'll be pick, then hammer, then flick it off, and then pick. And the pick is on the B string there, so that's the 15th fret. We're using our third finger there, so we're doing pick, hammer, flick, pick, pick, hammer, flick, pick, pick. Now the trick here is to really make sure you get a solid, when you do this hammer on, that's without picking anything at all. You can still get the note. Really, really hammer it down hard. The exercise called the finger gym on my website will probably help you if you're struggling with that. Then, of course, after that we then flick it off. So really using a sideways kind of thing, flicking motion, flick that finger off, and then we're just picking that note as well. So we've got two kind of quick picks in succession. Let me just play it for you slowly a couple of times so you can hear. I've turned the distortion down a little bit so it sounds a little different, but here we go. So there'll be pick, hammer, flick, pick, pick, hammer, flick, pick, pick. Now, one of the little secrets that I'm using here, well, it's not really a secret anymore, I'm just about to tell you, is that the first finger here, just on the edge, is touching the second string. So if I accidentally pluck the second string, I don't get any sound coming out of it. So it's quite important to try and get that first finger to touch there, that B string, so it's muted. Again, just to start real slow, pick, hammer, flick, pick. Now it's 16th notes, so it's a kind of 4 notes per click if you were doing it with a metronome. So 1 E and A, 2 E and A. And it's also really important that you keep that rhythm even. What you don't want is to go or. It kind of sounds cool, but the idea here is to try and keep the rhythm really even, so that even 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4. Now, once you've got that up to a reasonable speed, here's some of the little variations that you can try that are quite fun. The first one is to change the top note here between using your third finger on the 15th fret and the second finger on the 14th fret. This kind of makes it either from the Dorian mode or the Mixolydian mode. This is adding the 9th degree of the scale to our pentatonic scale, which is always a hip kind of note to play. So what you might do as an exercise is to start to change between using the third finger on the top and the second finger on the top. So you might have third finger, second finger, third, that kind of thing. Just swapping between those two can be quite a cool trick. Now, if you want a lot more advanced one, those of you that are kind of fancy some cool proper heavy rock stuff. Another good one to do is, if I just do it slowly, is So we're starting here with the second finger hammer on, third finger hammer on, then pick. Then we're doing a hammer on with the third finger, flick off, little finger, so just at the end there we're not having that note on the second string there. I'll stick a tab for this up on my site to help you out. So sorry. Quite a fun one. If I turn the distortion up now again. Quite a decent little kind of heavy metal lick. Okay, now the last one that I wanted to talk about is how to then use this lick to try and get down the guitar neck. So using this minor pentatonic scale. So having here, what we do just really slowly, we're just going to do 2 cycles of each group of 4 notes twice on each string. So the first one would be here. Then what we do is we want to move it across, so we go from here and we pick then that note there on the second string. Now here at this point you can either go and use your second finger there on the 14th fret, which is in keeping of course with the pentatonic scale, but one thing that I like to do with this is to go from this pattern to keep. Now this note, for those of you that know, is the blue note. This is the note that if you add to a minor pentatonic you get the blues scale. So sometimes adding this one can sound pretty hip. So we can then keep the same pattern on those first 2 sets of strings. So one and then when we move to the next string, we start here with the first finger, then onto the next string, and lastly so just nice and slowly, 2 on each one. Just as a little note again, make sure that the underneath of, you can't see if I do that, the underneath of this first finger here is resting on all those strings, trying to keep them quiet, because if you don't get pretty good muting going on here, then your the guitar will always be really noisy. So you're always trying to keep that edge of that first finger there touching the strings all of the way through. So even when it's like here on this string, the underneath there of that first finger is touching those others. When it moves to here, it's still touching them all. That's the way to keep it nice and clean. So here we go, just nice and slow, 2 on each one. And a little faster. And a little faster again. And one last time. Remember that speed doesn't happen overnight. Just knowing a lick that can be played really fast doesn't mean that you're going to. So don't risk kind of doing it with the wrong rhythm or the wrong fingers or without having a clear hammer on and flick off. Make sure all those things are really good before you try and speed it up. Otherwise you're going to be playing, well, you'll play shit really fast, which is not really what you want. You want to play good really fast. I hope that makes sense to you all. Have fun with your first heavy metal lick. See you soon. Bye. Forgot to mention, this will all be tabbed out on the website.